It's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and today we're going to talk about occasionally you get that patient, and let's say it's a mixed dentition case. Let's say you either were thinking about doing phase one, or you were thinking, or maybe you were going to do comprehensive, and patient is still kind of in mixed dentition, some permanent, some baby tooth, and the mom's saying, can we wait to get started? But it's an expansion case. So the question is, what's going to happen if you wait? And let's talk about that today. And I do have a lot of other videos, not only in my phase one playlist, which you can find for free on YouTube, but also in our phase one course, which you can find if you have our link tree, or you can go to straightsmilesolutions.com and go to courses. It's really affordable. It's less than $500 for 13 on-demand units. So that's a great deal. But it's basically the same content, I'll let you know, that I have on my YouTube, but YouTube is just in a random order, and it doesn't go step by step through the different ways, from diagnosis and treatment planning, and different types of appliances. We've got our transverse, we've got our sagittal, we've got our vertical, it's going to make a little more sense if you actually take the course. But anyways, your choice. But today we're going to specifically talk. Like I said, this is kind of recycling, but I'm going to say it a different way because people aren't necessarily getting the information they need from my YouTube videos. So mom says, can we wait? Let's address that. And we know we need expansion. So this particular scenario. Okay, so the first question is, well, why are we doing expansion? There's a million reasons why you need to do expansion. And like I said, all that content is in there, but let's just circle back on some of the main ones. I'm sure I'm not mentioning all of them. I'm just going to talk about maybe the top 5. So number 1 would, of course, be airway issues. We've done an STB screening. We see there's definitely airway issues. There's other symptoms going on. Of course, usually this is connected with a vaulted palate. Usually this is connected, with some crowding and not enough space. Usually this is connected with, if you take a panoramic x-ray, you don't see clear eruption guidance lanes. And by the way, every keyword I'm saying here in this video, you can look up in my YouTube channel. Just search by keyword within my channel and it'll pop up. If you can't find the video that goes with it, you're more than welcome to email me, info@straightsmilesolutions.com. I will send you the video. It's free service. I just want to make sure you guys are getting the information. So eruption lanes, crowding, possible impactions, just not enough space for teeth to come in. So all that usually ties in together, but specifically airway issues is a major concern if we're having symptoms. And if you don't have a sleep disordered breathing form, I'm happy to give you a copy of mine. It's free if you take any of our courses. Just send me the receipt and I'll send it to you. It's also free if you even just do one a la carte session or any of our memberships. Just ask for it and I'll give it to you. Otherwise, our documents are on our document store at Straightsmile Solutions and they're $20 each. Okay, another reason would be growth issues, like patient is growing in an unfavorable way. Definitely want to check out our cephalometric playlist, as well as, like I mentioned, the phase 1 course and the phase 1 playlist to understand that a little bit more. Cephs can be complicated, so I'm doing my best to explain it to you. You can always get a textbook as well. But patients who have airway issues normally don't grow in a favorable direction, which is forward. They're growing down and back. Okay, so we call that vertical growth, and that usually goes along with airway issues. So a lot of times doing expansion before the patient has finished growing can help to alleviate that. It's not necessarily going to fix the shape of the face that already went in the wrong direction, but it's going to help keep it from getting worse. And just kind of the best example of that I have is Napoleon Dynamite. If you just Google who he is from the character from the movie, that's a real down and backwards growth pattern. We used to call that in residency dog face. I know that sounds awful. That was not my word, but there was a resident that called it dog face look, as opposed to Beavis. So Beavis is your horizontal growth. Look up Beavis from Beavis and Butthead. That's your horizontal square jaw growth. That's not great either. That's low angle, but opposed to the Napoleon Dynamite growth. We don't want either of those growths. We want a normal growth pattern. What else? We talked about space issues. There should be clear eruption guidance lanes for all the teeth coming in. Another factor you want to keep in mind is what are we going to do later? A lot of times if you expand and make space, then the teeth come in straight. Can't promise that's gonna happen, but it definitely helps to make that happen. It makes it less likely that we're gonna have impacted canines or impacted premolars, even impacted second molars. Less likely we're going to need exposure surgery, less likely that we're going to need premolars extracted, as well as giving that patient a better airway. Better airways mean better sleep means often better behavior, better lifestyle. Better being able to breathe changes your whole life. And your kids don't know that they can't breathe because that's all they know, right? And a lot of this is happening just because of diet and habits they had as a kid. And then the last factor you need to keep in mind is going to be the timing of puberty. And this is huge in girls. And definitely you want to check out all my content on puberty, on growth. You can search by these keywords. It's also covered in our phase 1 course. If it's a girl, some girls are hitting peak puberty at 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Average right now, I think, is 11 and a half. It used to be 14 and a half. So a lot of times 11 and a half, we are in mixed dentition. So if we're going to have to do expansion, we need to do this before they finish growing, or we're not going to have as good results because the sutures are going to be interlocked. And then you're going to maybe have to do a RPE or a jaw surgery or other stuff, or it's just tipping, you're not getting the airway benefits. So we need to time this. You have to be confident in being able to ask those questions. You can't tell by looking at an 8 or 9-year-old if they're about to go through puberty or not. And a lot of times the parents don't know. You can get a hand wrist x-ray, you can just read all the rest of my content, listen to all that. But you need to know when puberty is going to happen. As long as the patient is at least 8 and a girl, you need to be asking if this question comes up. And unless they're giving a very specific answer, I wouldn't accept that answer. I would go to the pediatrician, ask for a med release, or take a hand wrist x-ray and just find out yourself. So, all right. So these are all factors in whether or not they can wait. If it's a boy, I'm probably a lot less concerned, unless if there's airway issues, growth issues. Those are a little more critical to me. Space issues, okay, you have more of a risk of, perhaps having impactions. That's, surgeries, or if you need exposure surgery, that's an extra cost later, and it's going to mean braces over aligners. Also, when you do the expansion when they're younger and teeth come up a little straighter to begin with, the permanent teeth, that makes these phase 2 or the comprehensive or the braces or aligners way quicker, way easier, can often save you a lot of money. Not always, can't promise, but it definitely makes the duration shorter. If you're doing braces, maybe we don't have to do open coil springs and bond second molars and all this kind of more painful type of things that maybe are unnecessary if things came up straight to begin with. So I'm always a big fan of just getting the expansion done. As long as we have first molars in and a couple incisors, let's go. As long as the patient is jazzed and ready to go and excited, I always have way more success than an 8-year-old doing expansion, or a 9-year-old, than I do in a 14-year-old. So, all right, thanks so much.